Hi guys, Lex here from Flowbros Coaching in Perth, and we're just with Mike Camel today, just taking a look at his freestyle. And this is the first time we've worked with Mike. We're just taking a look at the right-hand side of the screen here. So this is part one, which is featuring Mike's crossover. It's pretty severe. It's one of the most severe crossovers I've seen, and I'm quite surprised there's not more lateral movement and more snaking through the body. So by snaking, basically the hand enters in the wrong position or across the midline of the body, and you tend to get this kind of snaking or big scissor kick on either side as we go through. So essentially, you can see that's a really good shot of it there. If we just take a look at that midline or midpoint axis, we don't want the hand to come across that, and in fact, ideally, we want that hand to extend out in front of the shoulder and engage the water straight out in front of the shoulder and then pull back to the hip. So the crossover tends to slow people down, or does slow people down, because of that snaking pattern of the body, and you're having to fight the water to go straight. So we can see when the left arm comes through here how far over it pulls the body, and then Mike's having to correct under the water and pull himself back on line and back this way. So then he's overcorrecting and doing the same on each stroke. So it's quite an inefficient way to swim. So Mike does swim pretty well considering he has such a big crossover, and an indicator that he's got good strength through the shoulders and the back. And once we fix that, I think we will be flying. It gives us a lot of free speed. If we can get straighter in the water, we can see just the crookedness in the back here. So just highlight that. So once that's straight and rotating together, we can see the hip here is broken, as in it's on a crooked line, as is the shoulders. So essentially we want to rotate around that axis. So if we're rotating around here, around the central axis, we stay stiffer in the water, and that stiffness gives us a lot more speed. It improves our hydrodynamics through the water, reduces the drag, and also puts us in a better position to generate more power. So finesse paddles are very good for fixing crossovers. So they're the yellow paddle with a skeg on the bottom and a little loop for the finger. So you want to start wearing these quite tight, and that when you enter the water incorrectly or cross over like that, it will pull your hand back forward. It'll pull your hand in the forward direction. As you loosen that paddle, the paddle will tend to just flick off when you do it incorrectly. So we do try with just perception as well, which is simply trying to put your hand straight out in front, but it often feels awkward, and you may feel like you're putting your hand over here when in fact it's coming straight across still. So perception is a good thing, but it's hard to judge without someone giving you that visual feedback, or something giving you that feedback, which is why the paddles work very well. The other drill that we did on this in this session is simple lateral kick, so putting fins on with a finesse paddle straight out in front, so one arm at the side, one arm out in front, having a straight body position from head to toe, and just swimming on your side, squeezing the shoulder blades together, engaging the core, and that helps us feel the streamline and also correct our posture through the water, head position, etc. So I've just got this video on the left here, which is Mike at the end of the session, and we can just see his hand posse at the end of his session compared to at the start. So that's coming towards us with his right arm. This one is swimming away from us at the start of the session with his right arm. So let's just pull that up so we can see that right arm was the worst arm in that it came further across the midline than the other one. So we can just see how far across that's coming. And if we look at the end of the session, we can just see how straight his back is here as well. So that's his body position, and we can see that he's probably improved that by about 6 or 7 inches. So extending, it's almost straight out in front of the shoulder. It's coming, gliding slightly towards the midline, almost bang on the midline there. So much improved. Happy to say, much improved position, and it's amazing that just in one session we can improve that much. So that's another good shot of it there. The other thing that Mike has a problem with here is the breathing. So we can see both goggles coming clearly out of the water when he turns to breathe, and the face, full face and head position as well. So head is up and out of the water. The whole head is almost lifted, whereas we really want to keep the forehead down in the water. So forehead down at all times. And again, we want to focus on like on an axis or a turning axis, turning point. So top of the head should be here, jaw here, and then just leaving one goggle in the water the whole time, and half rotating out, Popeye breathing, so almost out of the corner of your mouth. So what tends to happen is if we keep the forehead down, we get a wake. So it creates a little wake through here and a little pocket around about here. So the water sort of hits the top of the head and then pushes out around the head and creates a little hollow point for us to breathe. We'll get more into that in part 2. Okay.